The information provided in this podcast is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. Listening to this podcast does not create an attorney-client relationship with Foyle Legal. For advice tailored to your situation, please consult a qualified legal professional. Welcome to Personal Injury Claims Explained by Foyle Legal, your trusted source for understanding personal injury claims in Western Australia. Each week, we simplify complex legal issues, from motor vehicle accidents to workplace injuries, so you can confidently navigate your rights and claim the compensation you deserve.
Ever had that feeling, when you're driving and a motorcycle kind of zips past you? Especially out here in Western Australia, those long stretches of highway. Gives you a bit of a shiver, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You see that lone rider and can't help but think, wow, they're really out there exposed compared to us all snug in our metal cages, right?
Exactly. And you know that gut feeling about risk on the road? Turns out it's not too far off. We've been going through this research from Foyle Legal about motorcycle versus car accident stats. Really eye-opening stuff.
Yeah, it really makes you think twice about those assumptions we make about safety when we get behind the wheel. Reality is always a bit more complicated.
No kidding. Okay, so first up, brace yourselves. Motorcyclists are about 30 times more likely to be in a crash than us car drivers. 30 times.
That's not just a little more risk. That's huge. And it's easy to think, well, I'm in my car, I'm good. But this actually affects everyone on the road, how we all share the space.
Right. It's like, this isn't just about motorcycles. It's about how we each see risk, how we manage it when we're all out there together.
Exactly. And when you look at the data specifically in Western Australia, some interesting trends pop up.
Okay, like what? I'm intrigued.
Well, one thing the article mentioned was that middle-aged men in regional areas tend to be a higher risk group for motorcycle accidents.
Makes you wonder, right? Is it those open roads, maybe a bit more freedom to speed, years of driving experience leading to overconfidence? It's a good reminder that everyone's risk assessment is different.
Oh, absolutely. And those differences, they really matter when you're sharing the road with others who might see things totally different.
For sure. And speaking of different perspectives, let's talk about us car drivers for a sec. It's so easy to feel all safe and sound in our little cocoons, what with the airbags and all. But is that the whole story? What's the data say, especially out here in WA?
Well, that sense of security might be a bit of an illusion. Just between 2018 and 2022, there were over 20,000 car crashes reported in regional Western Australia.
Wow, okay. That really hits home. No matter what you drive, being out on those regional roads especially, it's inherently risky.
Yeah, and those risks, they get even bigger when you look at speed's role in all this, both car and motorcycle accidents. The article highlighted how in Victoria, something like 35% of motorcycle crashes happened on roads with a speed limit of 100 km/h or higher. They didn't have specific numbers for cars, but the link between speed and how bad an accident is, that's pretty clear across the board.
So 2 wheels, 4 wheels, doesn't matter. Going too fast, especially on those long stretches, that's a recipe for disaster.
And it's easy to do. Those open roads, that can be deceiving. You don't realize how fast you're going until
it's too late. Okay, so motorcycles have it tougher out there, but even in our cars, it's not exactly a walk in the park. But I'm curious, before we jump to any conclusions, what did the article say about what actually causes these accidents for both types of vehicles?
All right, so get this. This is where it gets really interesting.
All right, so spill it. What did the article highlight as the main culprits behind these accidents, both for motorcycles and cars?
Well, the article dives into a bunch of factors, and what's fascinating is how many of them apply regardless of what you're driving. It's less about the type of vehicle and more about the human element, the environment, and how those interact.
Okay, so it sounds like we're moving beyond those motorcycles are dangerous stereotypes and getting into the nitty-gritty of what actually causes accidents on the road. I'm all ears.
Exactly. For one, plain old driver error plays a huge role. Think misjudging distances, getting flustered at a junction, or those moments when you realize a bit too late that you took that exit ramp way too fast. We've all been there.
Oh, tell me about it. I once totally misjudged a roundabout on a rainy day. Let's just say my parallel parking skills came in handy in a very unintended way. But thankfully, no one was hurt. So driver error is a big one. What else?
Road hazards are another major contributor, and this is something that's especially relevant to Western Australia, with its vast distances and varied terrain.
You mean like those potholes that seem to appear out of nowhere on those country roads?
Exactly. Potholes, gravel on the road, unexpected wet surfaces from those sudden downpours we get. Those hazards don't discriminate between 2 wheels and 4.
And let's not forget those kangaroos that like to hop onto the road at the most inconvenient times.
Precisely. It's all about being aware of the unexpected, no matter how experienced a driver you are.
Which brings us to another point the article made. Aggressive driving. Now, I'm not one to point fingers, but we've all seen those drivers weaving in and out of lanes, tailgating, like their lives depend on it. And it's not just a matter of being annoying, it creates a very real danger for everyone else.
You're absolutely right. Aggressive driving is a recipe for disaster. And it ties into another contributing factor that's becoming increasingly prevalent in our tech-obsessed world.
You're talking about distracted driving, right? That smartphone has become an extension of our hands, but it's a recipe for disaster behind the wheel.
Exactly. Texting, scrolling through social media, even just glancing at a notification. Those seemingly small distractions can have huge consequences when you're operating a vehicle at speed. And remember, this applies to motorcyclists as well.
That's a good point. We often associate distracted driving with people in cars, but I'm sure there are plenty of motorcyclists out there who are guilty of it too. It's a reminder that we all have a responsibility to be present and focused when we're on the road, no matter what we're driving. So we've got driver error, road hazards, aggressive driving, distracted driving. That's a lot to think about.
Yeah, it really makes you realize it's not so black and white. It's never just one thing, is it? Right, it's this whole cocktail of factors all coming together, often in a split second. And that's when those accidents we hear about, that's when they happen.
It really makes you think about how to make things safer,
Yeah.
And speaking of which, the article did talk about how important those protective gear for motorcyclists is. I mean, helmets, the right jackets, all of it.
Yeah, it's about giving yourself every advantage you can. Obviously, nothing makes it 100% safe, but those extra layers of protection can be the difference between walking away and...
For sure. And as car drivers, even though we might feel a little invincible sometimes, it's on us too, right, to look out for the folks who are more vulnerable out there.
Exactly. Being aware of what's around us, checking blind spots, thinking ahead, a bit of caution goes a long way.
Yeah.
For everyone.
Absolutely. Now, before we wrap up, the article left us with a bit of a head scratcher. And it got me thinking, especially after all these stats. We've seen how much safer cars have gotten, airbags, crumple zones, all that.
Oh, yeah. It's incredible when you think about how much progress there's been even the last couple of decades.
And yet,
Yeah.
what about motorcycles? Is there anything similar that could be done, innovations or changes that could make riding safer?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's not even just about the bikes themselves. Imagine designing roads, the whole infrastructure, with motorcycle safety in mind from the get-go.
Now, that's an interesting thought. It's like shifting from just reacting to accidents to actually creating a safer environment for everyone. Well, folks, I don't know about you, but this deep dive has definitely given me a lot to think about. And whether you're commuting every day, out for a weekend ride, or just sharing the road with motorcycles and cars here in WA, remember, knowledge is power.
Couldn't agree more. Understanding the risks, making smart choices, and looking out for each other, that's how we make our roads safer. For everyone.
Well said.
Yeah.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into motorcycle and car accident statistics. Hopefully it's been as eye-opening for you as it has been for us. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay safe out there.
Thank you for listening to Personal Injury Claims Explained by Foyle Legal. We hope this episode helped clarify your rights and next steps in your injury claim. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and visit foylelegal.com for more useful information. See you next time.